Man, on your current last project that you did, the Mega Dope Maniac.
Yeah.
My Minneapolis family, Jelly Bean and the crew, you did some things with them on that project, man. Talk a little bit about working on that cut there, man. She Can Get It is the name of the jam, you know, and it's hard.
Man. The record that still got momentum after the 2 years we put it out. It's just still gaining momentum. And that's the beauty. Yeah. It's the beauty. Before I get into the story, for those who are watching, listening to this right now, this is the beauty of ownership. When you have ownership, you can remix, you can do whatever the hell, you can re-release it as many times as you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can license it, you can do things with it. I just want to let people know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, as most fans,
do what you want with it.
Exactly. As including yourself, we had known each other for years at that point. As most fans may or may not know, the story between me and my Minneapolis idols began thanks to being an Enema Squad. Because as I joined, I wasn't officially part of the band just yet, but I started joining them on the New York shows. One of those shows, we were the opening act for Mars Ain't the Time. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, if for anybody who grew up with me in Brooklyn, that saw me and my brother Pepe doing talent shows, imitate Mars and Jerome, you know, for those that seen all that stuff and those that see my own stage show where my brother would just come out with the mirror and come out with the robe. And, you know, that's James Brown too, but that's definitely Mars as well with the jacket. So the thing is, you know, it's all in there. Yeah. So imagine me at that point for the first time. I never met my heroes prior to that. Here I am at Tramps in New York City. Most of the members of the Enema Squad was trying to be on some cool, man, we gonna bust their ass. I'm like, that's how y'all thinking? I'm like, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't mind kicking some ass. I said, but these are my idols. These are the reason why I'm able to kick ass. Y'all can do what y'all want to. I'm hanging out here. I hung out. Man, listen, I was in the front. I was on the side of the stage just watching, you know, Terry Lewis is in my top 15 bass players. So he was there that night. So for me, man, you got to understand something. For me, that became the whole prototype of everything that I knew that I wanted to do. So my bond and my relationship with my Minneapolis uncles, it all starts there. You know, for over 20 something years, those that we've been close to friends, been at each other's houses and stuff like that. You know, every time they come in New York, Monty will call me up, yo, Lord, what you doing, man? We hanging out over here. Then Mars, then Tori and Friesen would come and sit in with us, you know that. Yeah. We developed that thing. So I get a call that Jelly Bean wants to do an album. For the first time, he wants to build on his brand.
Yeah.
Say, hey, nephew, man, I always loved your production. I'm like, huh? Me? What's the deal about it? Are you serious? This is crazy. So basically, after 20-something years of building a bond and a love for my Minneapolis idols and icons, Mars Ain't the Time, all of them, you know, that's nothing. Beauty personified. When they recognize how dope you are, that's like, wow.
It all comes back, yeah.
And then Mars Day brought me up on stage one night to do Jungle Love with him. I'll never forget that as long as I live. So God forbid if nothing else would have never happened, to get that sign, that co-sign of approval from the man himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just some mere fan trying to, he knew, he's like, no, Lord did the homework, man. That's the main thing. So here I am, Jelly Bean's working on the project, and he calls me. He's like, man, you know, nephew, I always loved your stuff, you know, because I love your production. My production? But you got to understand why I felt that way. Because him, Monty, Jimmy, and Terry, and Jesse are the reasons I became producers. That's what me and my boy Khalif was trying to be like. We wanted to be like the hip-hop version of these guys. It's like, you know, we wanted to be in the mix of producing and creating hits or just creating a sound that people can vibe off. So for me, it's like, you know, for those who don't know, you know, Jelly Bean produced Crucial for New Edition and Black Cat and all that stuff, yeah. Janet Jackson. Monty Moore produced and wrote Pleasure Principle. And If You Were Here Tonight for Alexander O'Neal and a whole lot of other stuff. And this is Jelly Bean asking me to produce. So imagine how I felt in my room at that moment. I said, well, I got this one song I've been working on. Matter of fact, hold up. I got this shit here. Let me plug my guitar. We're gonna get kind of deep.
Got the baby sitting there.
Yes, you know. Just so you know, this was not planned. My guitar, you know, she is in the case. So this ain't part of the interview where I'm doing that. Like, it's not acoustic, you can barely hear it. So literally, I had this song that I had been working on based upon something that me and my best friend Errol used to always say whenever we saw a girl that we like, you know. She bad. She could definitely get it. And I don't have to tell you what it is. We're all adults here. You know what I'm saying? So, and we used to always say, you know, there's a song in there somewhere. Now, mind, there's a couple of people that had the same song title. Yeah. I don't like God, but the thing was is that I need to make something in reference to that. Because I figure like this. My grand assumption was that Jelly Bean, if he's going to do a project that has his name on it, he's not going to really want to do too much of the Minneapolis stuff because he's been doing that as a drummer for March in the Time for over 40, 50 something years. So I was scared to literally play this for him. Because this was going to be this was going to be on my album. This was going to be my song.
Was that the only song that you sent him or played for him?
No. I sent them 3 songs actually. I sent them one called Planetary Blues, which it's still in the can actually. It's still it might make the next project that we're working on now. Okay. But literally, I wanted to put that type of shit in place. So I'm scared. Imagine now, Jelly Bean's asking me for heat. And you know, and that's my drum idol, you know, and my Minneapolis iconic uncle. So I'm scared. I'm not scared. I'm just like, well, I mean, what if I give him this shit? So
like, what if you don't like it?
Yeah, exactly. Now, mind you, I didn't have the verses. All I had was the chorus, and all I had was this dope ass, you know, C sharp 9 riff.
Okay.
You know, so it's, you know, I'm a Jimmy Nolan guy. James Brown, so I'm always chugging. And then I'm always trying to find new ways to play chorus. I just came up with the distracted. Now, you know, I see your face. It's funky as hell. I was like, I'm there. I'm just like, no bass line yet. I'm just like, shit, okay. And I'm playing it, and I'm just like, she can get it.
Yeah.
She can get it. It's just a chorus. I had no words. So keep in mind, I go to Brooklyn. I not only lay down the bass and the drums and the guitar, but then I also had this imaginary thing in my mind. What if you got Uncle Monty to play on this record? How would it sound? That's why when you hear that part, that's me doing a Monty impression.
Yeah.
So I literally tracked it because my goal was to get Jelly Bean to not only play the guitar solo, because this album really features his guitar work. My goal was to get him to play drums on it too.
Okay.
So I went to the studio, didn't say nothing. I said, I got the song. I sent it to him. About 10, 15 minutes later. Yo, nephew, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. I said, Uncle, for real? I said, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Uncle. I was scared. I figured you kind of wanted to get away from the Minneapolis thing because you're always doing that. He said, no. But then there's the confident Scorpio side of who I am. The reason why I felt comfortable enough to give it to him after a while I was contemplating was because I figure like this. If he's going to do a lot of this blues rock stuff on this record, he needs to have at least one song. It don't have to be 3 or 4 songs. Mm-hmm. He needs one song that represents the legacy that he helped build.
Yeah.
He is an architect of the Minneapolis sound, without question. So we need a song that represents that. So musically, She Can Get It became my love letter musically to Minneapolis, while the song lyrics pretty much is, you know, self-explanatory.
Yeah.
we girl watching. That's all we
do.
doing.
Exactly.
You know, we guys, we girl watching. So
right.
The thing for me was that, but musically, everything you hear in that record, musically, it's me thinking like my idol. That's why when you, and here's the thing, once he accepted it, the words got written that night.
Yeah.
So now I go back to the shit, you know. Slide, stepping in the club, all it took is just one glance. Man, she got a big old butt, and I like to see her dance. You hear what I'm saying? Now listen to the key words in that verse. Slide, you know, automatically, you know what I'm thinking. I'm like Morris. Yeah. Slide in the club. Remember when he slid in the club in the in Oak Tree? That's my whole thing, because all that group says to me is Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Slide, stepping in the club. All it took is just one glance. Damn, she got a big old butt. I like to see her dance. Oh boy, the band is hot with the Minneapolis groove. I see another one on the floor, and I'm trying not to lose my cool. I summed it all up. Awesome. So now that I got this shit, I said, okay, Uncle, I'm giving you this song for the record. I'm going to sing it and everything. But under one condition. I said, sure. We need Uncle Monty on it. He said, that's it? It's like, yeah, because here's the thing. As close as me and Monty was, you gotta remember, I'm very respectful of people's time, and you know, Monty's always busy and stuff, and things are happening. I'm just like, okay, he may not. And from what was told to me, when they told Monty who wrote the song, Monty was like, "Are you kidding me? It's Law. Hell yeah!" That made me feel so good. Awesome. And Monty said, Monty loves my writing. He said, "Yeah, Law is a great songwriter." I'm like, the man that wrote Pleasure Principle telling me I'm a great songwriter. Are you kidding me? I mean, again, imagine how that feels.
Yeah.
The man that wrote Janet Jackson, both men. I'm talking about Monty specific, but him and Jelly Bean wrote two of Janet Jackson's greatest hits.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't just write songs. They wrote some hits.
Not album cuts.
Yeah.
Hits.
They wrote some hits. And even if they weren't hits, they some badass cuts any damn.
Exactly. But think about it. Janet Jackson still does both Black Cat and Pleasure Principle in her shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the fact that I got two of the men who inspired my musicianship as members of the time, if they never had done production, but then they inspired me as writers too. And here I am producing two of my Minneapolis heroes. And then the icing on the cake, I said, okay, another condition. At around this time, it had been about a good 3 years. I had finally found my rhyme idol, the incredible Tony motherfucking M from New Power Generation. Tony motherfucking Moses. I'm saying it like that because you gotta remember, for those that know, for those for Prince fans who are diehard fans of the Diamonds and Pearls and Symbol era, then you know who Tony M is. Sexy motherfucker. He's the reason why that song exists, because that's his whole blueprint. It is. He wrote that rhyme for Prince. Just call it what it is. Yeah. And he's one of my rhyme idols. Him and my other rhyme idol, the great Moni Love. That's why I get my people like, when you rap fast, I can understand you. I said, blame Moni Love for that. That's where I get it from. But Tony M was the same way, because Tony M could rap fast, but you understand every word he said. People said it about me. So I'm just like, okay. I said, we got to get Tony M. Now keep in mind, Tony hadn't done a new, because remember, he had just reunited with MPG. They started doing shows again. Yeah. And they were just all doing, all the classic stuff. When the last time you heard a Tony M verse?
New.
It had been about over 20-something years. Last time I heard Tony M was the Gold Nigga album.
Right.
That's the last thing he did, really, technically, before, him and Prince, had a disagreement and parted ways. I called up, I said, big bro, I want you on this record, man. I've been wanting to rhyme with you since I was 13 years old. Because, a lot of our dance moves that people love so much, like me and my boy Errol, it's a combination of New Edition, Troop, the Jacksons, James Brown, and the Game Boys. That's where we get all our shit from. and Tony M being such a premier MC. By the way, shout out to Damon and Kirk as well, my big brothers for life. Yeah, you know, having Tony M on my record is a dream come true. So here I got me, Jelly Bean Johnson, Monty Moore of the time, and fucking Tony M from the new power generation, rhyming alongside me, especially that third verse. We go back and forth. You know how long I've been waiting to do that shit with him?
Yeah, awesome.
You know, you see my face as I'm talking about it. Listen, it's been 2 years since we put that record, and the thing is that it gets me every time. I'm like, I got a record with my God forbid if I never do nothing else in life. I got a banging ass record with my heroes who helped change the game, along with Jimmy and Terry and Jesse and Morris and Jerome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the best feeling in the world. So, and from what's being told, even now, it is still the most popular, if not one of the most popular songs off of Jelly Bean's album. I can claim fame to that. That's the best feeling in the world to be able to say I have the song.
It's all right. You can claim that. You can claim that.
Well, and then every time we do it live, the fans go crazy. They love that one, especially the girl, like the female fan. They love that song. And again, every time that me and Joe, and one time when we actually did on stage with Jelly Bean on stage, I just look back at him like the little song that could.
Is there anybody living or dead that you have not worked with? I know you mentioned Stevie Wonder, but
of course, that's number one on my list.
Yeah, but besides him, living or past, yeah, you mentioned Prince as well. I want to dig a little deeper. Like those are like the I would want to work with Stevie or Prince if they were here too. Like right off the top, that's like the apex. But
naturally,
but I want to dig a little deeper because I know there's some artists out there that are legends as well that I would love to work and produce or write with or do something with. How about yourself, man? Who is somebody that you have not worked with?
Oh man. DJ Premier.
Nice.
As a producer myself, because I'm a producer myself, but I'm also an artist too. So that also entitles me to be able to say, you know what? I'm not doing the producer artist thing for this particular project. I want to call in some of my favorite producers and just allow myself to be produced.
Yeah.
I don't have an ego. I don't have that ego. Like if I want to be definitely Dr. Dre, without question.
Yeah. Premier has a sound. He has a distinct sound too, man.
Well, I mean, look what he did for Christina Aguilera. Some people still don't even realize he produced
Ain't No Other Man. He did that song, right?
And half of that whole third album. And that's actually my favorite Christina Aguilera album. And that's because of the work that he did on it, in addition to the stuff that she always normally did. So it's just crazy to me, man. Like,
and you mentioned Dre.
Dre, Music Soul Child.
Nice, okay.
And Robert Glasper, that's my boy. So I definitely plan on doing. I'm hopefully Robert is riding a wave that you can't disturb.
Yeah.
Every single accomplishment. I'm gonna be honest with you because Robert is someone who I'm really, really inspired by. I've watched him for the last 8 or 9 years. I mean, not even just that, but also because, like me, he did things his way.
Yeah.
And he's winning his way. That's important. Layla, winning her way. I love when people talk about Layla like she's a new artist. I laugh. I'm like, Layla been that girl. I mean, Layla been that. Now, is that me being biased? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But the bottom line is that it's true.
Yeah, shit ain't changed since then. Yeah, shit ain't changed.
Before I knew her personally, it hasn't been a whole bunch of years, but before I knew her personally, I was already a diehard fan of her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The album with her and Joe Sample alone is a damn a textbook.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, people like her, Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin, and then my former next door neighbor, Corey Henry.
Okay.
Him and my daughter are real good friends. So that's like, he's my next door neighbor. But I know some of the people that Corey played with church-wise. We come from gospel. So when I see them moving forward in their vision, it keeps me inspired.
Yeah.
And we all stay in touch sporadically. I'd be like, hey, I say, what's up, baby bro? I see you. Like, hey, what up, Lord? You know what I mean? And they don't forget because it's me showing love. Because they have a lot of haters. People like, you saw what happened with Robert Glasper when a certain somebody who's supposedly an R&B legend at this point said, who the fuck is Robert Glasper?
Yeah.
And Robert being so petty, that's why I love Robert.
Yeah, he ran with that thing.
I'm gonna take this shit. I'm gonna run with it because that's just giving them more. I loved it. So the thing is, you know, so Robert Glasper was one. I definitely want to work with Boney James, Stuart Matherman from Sade's band.
Oh, Sade, yeah.
I want to work with. I mean, actually, no, I'm sorry. I did work with Earth, Wind & Fire. I'm sorry. I work with both Earth, Wind & Fire and Lionel Richie doing shows, but not studio-wise.
Okay.
Not studio-wise. So I want to work with them studio-wise.
Gotcha.
I definitely, you know, if Ronald Isley got another album into him, I would definitely love to do some kind of work. So there's a lot of people that's still around that I actually would love to work with. Definitely Eminem and Royce da 5'9", you know, Redman. And definitely, even though I worked with her show-wise, Shaka Khan, without question. I would love to work with Shaka because this is my opinion, I always feel like the best producers and songwriters and featured artists are the ones who are genuine fans of the artists who they're actually working with. Not because the record label thinks that person is hot.
Absolutely.
Yo, they hot right now. You should work with them. I hated that shit. My thing is you forced in relationship. I've always felt like the best collaborations came from people who were already friends with each other. Perfect example. One of my favorite George Benson songs is 2020. Now, a lot of the jazz purists, they hate George Benson's pop R&B stuff, but me, I love every fucking album.
Yeah.
That part with him and Patty are scatting at the end with each other. Well, let me get
yeah.
I know that whole
That's
shit.
it.
So the thing is that
that shit.
That's that shit. So the thing is that George Benson and L.A.W. collaboration album.
Oh yeah.
Because they all know each other. See what I mean? Like when you do projects from the heart, or the up and coming Digital Soul Law collaboration, but we won't get into that right now. You know, things like that. You know, when you collaborate with people that you love, the real shit comes out. So I mean, you know, people who I'm naming right now are people who are my heroes, who I listen to on a daily basis, who I'm really a fan of. Mary J. Blige, like I love her, and definitely Faith Evans. Oh my God, because Faith is in my top 20 of where I get most of my style from as a singer. Temptations.
Okay.
Because Ollie Woodson, to me, him and Glenn Goins from Parliament-Funkadelic, you know why? You know what they have in common?
What's that?
They were, in my opinion, they were the best technical singers of their periods. Glenn Goins only having a short period of time, but in that short period of time, Glenn is without question one of the most insane, ridiculous R&B, soul, funk, rock singers in the history of funk, R&B itself, and a dope ass guitar player too, by the way.
Yeah.
So Glenn has that, and then you got Ollie Woodson, uber talented as a keyboard player. Remember, he wrote "Treat Her Like a Lady," which was, in my opinion, the last great hit that the Temptations actually had. And his vocal range, all my vocal range I get from him because he was the one I had to study when I started realizing that my voice had changed. And I got a manly voice now, but I don't know how to get. I don't know how to get from "How could anybody ask for much more?" I don't know how to get to that yet. I'm like, how am I going to get to that shit? And studying him and Buddy Miles and Al Green, my top three when it comes to that type of vocal style, I became a monster with it. I became obsessed with it. So when I finally met him 30-something years later, I didn't even know he was sick. He looked good when I met him. He died 2 years later, man.
Dang.
So I'm so glad that I had an opportunity to tell him and also the late, great Dennis Edwards. I did a show with Dennis Edwards, the history.
Okay.
And me and Dennis Edwards sat in the dressing room for about a good hour and some change, man.
Very cool.
He couldn't believe. He's like, man, he said, man, Lord, you know your stuff, man. Like I could see why. I told him, I said, well, you're my favorite. I said, besides Ollie, you're actually my favorite lead singer Tim. I said, I don't count David because David is the fucking blueprint. He's there. You can't count him. But you're next. So the thing is that it's to really pay homage. And to make people understand why Law is who he is. So when you hear the names of people who I'm blurting off at you, is because he's a people. I mean, I would love to work with Al Green because Al Green is still living.
Yeah,
I mean, he's up there in age. You know, he's still doing shows from what I understand. I haven't been to a recent one, but I mean, look, the Roots did the last two albums that he did. Those were dope. I love both. I told Quest when I met him, I said, yo, Quest, I mean, I love all the shit that you do, bro, but I love what you did with Al. He said, yeah, fun on that project. They gave him that classic High Records, Willie Mitchell type shit.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, those are some names. Oh, last one. It's a whole bunch, but I'll just end it up. We can do this all night with without question, LL Cool J.
Okay.
Because I already worked with Rakim. A lot of people don't know that. I did a track for Rakim.
Okay.
Never came out though. I produced a track for Rakim and never came out. And me and Cool G Rap are in discussion right now as we speak. So don't be surprised if you see a Planet Soul production on the next G Rap record.
All right.
Of course, me and Kane already worked together, but we're only on stage. I open up though. I'm trying to get Kane in the studio. I got some plans. But we've been talking. Like I said, me and Kane keep in touch with each other sporadically, you know, because we always working. So the thing is that I told the dude, on this all hip hop album, I'm getting your ass. You and Freddie Fox. I'm getting y'all on this.
Get the legends, man. Get the
those are my mentors. Those are my and these are, and like I said, when I say mentors, these are really my big brothers because outside the music, they checked on me. I think remember that time when I had back-to-back deaths happen? There was a lot of shit going on with me. And I wasn't on as much.
Yeah.
Freddie Fox, aka Bumpy Knuckles, man. My big brother checked on me. He said, man, I had to call. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, he's calling me, what's up? He made sure I was all right, man. You know, and Donnie Wahlberg's the same way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my big brothers love me, man. They check on me and make sure that, and they love me the same way I love them because I'm always checking on them. I mean, look, Kane will tell you. If Kane was there right now, Kane will tell you. I'm like, every other 3 or 4 days, yo, what up, big bro? You cool? I'm checking in, saying what's up. You know, I'm always just making sure because, you know, mentally and emotionally and even physically, man, you know, we go through the motions on every level. And I want to make sure that all of my heroes are good on all cylinders, man. You know, this industry can really do a lot of things to you. And if you don't maintain a peace of mind and an attitude about moving forward and doing so, that's why this whole 50 years of hip hop anniversary for all the events and all this stuff, I'm just loving seeing them getting booked like crazy. And keep in mind, Kane, all those guys, they stay booked. But the thing is, like this year, the gigs, because it's just good to see the pioneers are being sold. I mean, it's cool that the new guys are kind of turning up too. Look, for all intents and purposes, you may not be a fan of some of those guys, but they are part of hip hop. It is what it is. You can't leave them out. You know, that's not hip hop. I'm like, well, to us guys that know what real hip hop is, no, but they're still part of history. But it's not really for them. I'm more so focused on the pioneers that opened the door, that made this shit happen. That's what I'm concerned about. I can care less about anybody else. So
I heard that, man. As far as like what's coming up in the future for you, man, I know you got so much on your plate, man. Like I said earlier in the conversation, man, you're selling out shows, man, working on music. You're going live quite a bit, man. You're in the studio and always sharing when you're in there in the studio working on stuff and things like that. So
it's the process. I love not to cut you. I'm sorry. It's the process.
No, I was just saying I always tap in when you do that.
Thank you for that because you gotta remember we're from the era where the only time you saw artists working on something is it had to be a documentary or it had to be behind the scenes and you had to wait damn near a year for it. Or when it comes on, because we didn't have YouTube back then. Remember, we didn't have all that shit. So when I had to make a point, because a lot of people always would be like, Mr. Dalvin, does he sing? I said, they all sing, man. And then I showed him the video of them actually working on music and he's always like, I didn't even know he had a solo album. I'm like, I keep telling y'all guys, all 4 Jodeci members sing. But had we wouldn't have had YouTube, you would have never known. Had I wouldn't have had a documentary on BET, you wouldn't have known. Because everybody always made assumptions about who did what without knowing the process of making a record. And because I am pretty much a one-man show in the studio, it's only right. So it's so good that we have this modern technology where the fans are able to see the process and how we do things. Absolutely. I love it. I love showing the fan because that way they can understand why. Remember, somebody said, damn, you really are the most talented kid to me. I just saw you jump from bass to guitar and put that part down. I mean, listen, this is another reason why Prince and Stevie Wonder became my top 2 overall heroes out of everybody because the proficiency and sufficiency of wanting to do it yourself and not waiting.
Yeah.
I tell artists all the time, learn at least one. You don't have to be like me and see and learn it more. Now, if you want to do that, then great. That makes your ear even better.
Yeah.
But especially female artists. I tell female artists all the time, learn at least one instrument. Piano, bass. That's why I love female musicians. I only like saying female because musicians, no matter what. But that's why I love seeing females that can actually play. I love it. Right. Because we need more. We need more Patrice Russians. You know, we need more Sheila E. We need more women who are playing and learning instruments and just getting better at that. Because the thing is that it allows you to learn more about the language of music that you're creating. That way you don't have to depend on, now, of course, if you want to include people, like you see, like people who I choose to work with, like when me and you decided to work together, I said, well, I've always dug this shit anyway. That made it easy for me.
Yeah.
Digital Soul got some shit. So I'm just like, that made it easy. But I'm like, you kidding me? I'm like, I've been wanting to do this with you. It's different because everybody else shit I don't dig like that. Depends on who the person is and where I'm going with it. So that part is very important. I think that has the ability to really reward itself when you have a chance to work on things with other people and collaborate on things that make sense,
Very cool, man.
Makes a lot of sense, man. So I'm really achieving. I just love to see female musicians. So I tell a lot of young artists all the time, male and female, learn at least one instrument. Start studying the language of music. It is so important. I think it's so important for, especially the ones who are like prodigies. Like who's this? You asked me who I was listening to later. The Schultz family.
Okay.
Listen.
Yeah.
Both of them, the brother and the sister.
Yeah.
Father ain't no joke either. The father's a beast. I know you see where to get it from. But what's Jamie and Justin?
Jamie and Justin, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, killing it. Killing it.
Oh man, listen. I just shook my head. I'm like, that's the future.
They're babies too, man.
Smile.
Yeah.
I mean, they're babies. And then look. Jamie just did she did a couple of gigs with Sheila as a drummer. And Sheila put it to because I know, look, Sheila did that with us when we played for her.
Yeah. Sheila
put her to the test. It's like A, B. I said, that's Sheila test. And then she put it because she held it because she wasn't going to go down.
Uh-huh.
She said she was going to see if she could throw Jamie off course. And then she was like, oh, she caught that. Give it up for Jamie. But that's how you train. That's how you raise the baby. Shout out to Sheila. Shout out to Auntie. I love you, Auntie. That's how you train the babies. And I'm like, and they're dope like that now. They're not even, if I'm not mistaken, they're not in their 20s yet.
I know.
Man, they're killing.
Yeah, just wait.
They remind me of me because that's how me and my cousin Rudy Mashima, when we were coming up, my uncle would take us to all the local clubs in New York City where his friends were playing, and me and my cousin Rashid would jump on drums and bass and guitar, and the crowd would be like, oh shit. And we knew, I'm like, well, we just got to keep getting better and better. But seeing these kids in this generation like that,
yeah, man,
they even better than what we were. I was like, oh, he did a solo on. He was doing some Mozart shit with something.
It's different now.
It blew my fucking mind. Yeah. So, like I said, man, teach the babies, especially the young girls, to learn instruments and just to get into the fight, and especially, of course, the music business. I always talk about that as a separate subject for when this is over. But that's just so important. I think it's just a very thing to see a lot of this development happening. So thanks for saying that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I know you've been working with, you did some things with Miss Tina Torres. You got a new joint out with her, which I really, really dig, that Celebrate joint.
Here's the thing. I'm thankful for me and Tina being able to work on those two songs and everything, but we no longer work together.
Okay. So should we leave that out? Should we leave that out?
Honestly, yeah.
Okay.
Edit that.
I got you.
You can edit that out because if I get into that subject, it's going to be very scathing. So
gotcha. Okay, that's all we got.
And I don't want to do that because y'all look, you know how reckless my mouth is. You know.
Yeah. Right. We're not
I'm
going to.
I'm not going to deviate from the I'm not going to deviate from the positivity that's flowing to give mentions to people who are very ungrateful.
Okay. But I dig the song, man. I dig the song.
Oh no. Listen. I'll say this. Let me keep it real. And you of course keep this edited, but
right.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'll say this. There is no question. The first time I met Tina, I knew how uber talented she was. Oh, she's a beast. But between not having the confidence in herself and letting other people get into her head and trying to fight another mission, but not focusing on the mission that you should be focusing on, you know, that's when things got flipped. And then what's even worse, and I'm gonna leave it at this, when you turn on the people that didn't ask you for anything, that did shit for free, didn't ask for a dime, and told you we could talk contract and all that stuff later, but I'm just so interested in what your vision is and you want to be part of my camp, all bets are off. And the thing for me is just that, you know, it hurt my spirit, you know, unfortunately, because, you know, Tina has so much to offer as opposed to, you know, she's on TikTok now dropping conspiracy theories and all this other weird shit. And here's the funny thing, because she got over like 1 million views on one of her thing. And I'm just like, that's sad that you're going to become more known for that than for your music.
Damn.
You're known for talking. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm never leaving it alone. Sitting in front of a computer talking about Beyonce and Rihanna is not going to change the situation.
Yeah.
Talking shit about other people who are pretty much, you know, doing what they're doing at the top of their game. How is that helping you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the views and people like, oh, she talked about her. I'm like, yeah, but you're getting views for the wrong fucking thing.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. That's all I'm gonna say with that. Good luck and prosper. And like I said, I'm just making sure you know that there's no hate, any of that. But
absolutely.
It broke my heart and disappointed me that she tried to use me as a scapegoat for all things worry. And then once you start getting mad at people because you work with other people, I'm like, listen, I'm a grown ass man. You don't tell me who to follow or who to work with.
Right.
I'm like, we work together. I don't, you know, my thing is me working with you. I'm aiding in your vision. I'm not trying to make you sound like nobody else, but then you turn on the people who helped you. And I say this all the time. Let me make this. Let me round it now. You can put this part in. It's another message before we move forward in this interview.
Okay.
The number one thing you can do, if you want true success and longevity in this business, always treat people right and never turn. Now, unless it's just something foul, that's different. Mm-hmm. But never ever turn your back on the people who have aided to help get you where you are.
Absolutely.
I promise you, the same people you meet on the way up, your ship is coming down. You're going to see those same people.
Yep.
That's why I treat everybody the same. When I told you earlier about my manager, Fred, he managed me for what, 3 or 4 years. It didn't work out. For all intents and purposes, I fired. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I let him go. So I got to do this on my own.
Right.
We're still best friends.
Right.
Me and my ex-wife are still best friends. I don't tell you nothing about me. I don't know what it is. Right. Treat people, because even though me and our marriage didn't work out, our love for each other from day one. Because we really still do love each other. She's been married and everything. But the thing is that relationships with the right people are very important. Because once you burn a bridge that can't be built again, you're fucked. That's number one. Number two, your spirit, you couldn't even sleep at night. If you done people wrong, or you didn't acknowledge the people that helped you get to where you are and you've had some kind of success, you're not going to have long success. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen to too many people. I can name some more names, but I didn't see it happen to too many people where they get brand new. I have people, and I'm not going to say their names in this shit because when we do corporate gigs and whatnot, I've had people who I literally have done weddings with. The corporate gigs that we do are mostly weddings, private events, bar mitzvahs, and of course, I'm one of the game changers in that corporate gig industry because I came into that industry being me. I just see people I work with. They get TV shows. They land on a role in a TV show. They get a hit record, or they get like somebody follows them or makes them a background singer officially. And we go to an industry party. They try to act like they don't know you. I'm like, so you just gonna act like you wasn't just doing a wedding with me last week? that brand, I never understood that brand new shit. That shit is corny. That's industry shit. That's arrogant ego, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because look who I work with. I sat by the poolside with Lionel motherfucking Richie and my sis, his fiance Lisa. She'll tell you. I sat by a poolside in Hawaii talking about music for 3 hours. That's a great accomplishment. Plus, I worked with the man 4 times. Do you see me walking around treating people like shit? Like when me and you hung out at Bunkers. Did I act like I didn't know you?
Right.
You can tell it. We done hung out. How many times we done hung out?
Oh, so many, several times. Yeah.
And but everything I do, you see me walking around like a pool, but I don't walk around like, yeah, I don't, I blush more now when people meet me and greet me and just let me know what they feel about me in general. So that's why I used to laugh when I used to hear this shit about, he's so arrogant. I said, no, you really don't know me. I said, but that's okay. I get it. The image, my confidence offends your insecurity because I don't even bother you. But that's crazy. I don't walk around like that. So I say this again. You'll never have good success, or it won't last long. You may get some success because look at the people who did it. You have some success, but then you make the mistake. The perfect example, and can I use that? I'm using that as a story. I call it the Leon Silvers theory. You know where I'm going with this, right? My mentor, the great, the incredible, the man that pretty much taught L.A. Reid, Babyface, Jimmy Jam, and Teddy Riley. For those that don't know. If you don't know your history, learn about it right now. You're about to get a lesson today. Leon Silvers is the contemporary, is the godfather of contemporary R&B funk music. He is. So, if you know the story, the Silvers were hot. They had put out 4 incredible critically acclaimed records, but they didn't have the record sales for those first 4. And they got on Capitol Records, Boogie Fever, disco music. So, of course, they're not a disco group, but of course, that record produced by the part of the corporation, Freddie Perrin, taught Leon Silvers even more about production. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now they come into this middle of the road. I think it's probably 77, 78. So Al Ross is putting the bug in the rest of Silver's ear about Leon. Like, yeah, you need to get rid of your older brother because, he's messing it up for you guys. We have so many, no, the white guys, we have so many big plans for you. There's this movie that's coming out. We're gonna put you in Disco 9000, and and he just won't cooperate. And I know he's your mentor, and I know he does the production, and he won't cut his hair. He's growing a mustache, like he won't get rid of it, and he's messing it up for your guys. So y'all gonna have to take a vote. And as most people don't know, the Silvers, they took a vote and voted their brother out. And as Leon always said, I wasn't really upset. I understood. They wanted my brothers and sisters wanted their independence. And of course, probably about a few months later or a year later, I don't know, Leon gets a call from Dick Griffey of Solar Records. And he said, listen, I would love to have you songwrite and do some production work for some of the artists we got going on here. And of course, as we know, take that to the bank. Now, Shalimar had a couple of records before that were pretty decent, but Take That to the Bank was the song that set off the movement. And then to make matters even greater, when the other lead singer left, in comes the incredible Howard Hewitt. Now we got a golden voice. Second time around. I can go on and on. Night to Remember, For Love in You. What they all have in common? Leon motherfucking Silvers. And the rest of the Solar music team that helped aided in those records with Leon production. Right. And as we know, Leon became the producer of the year for those cylinders. Meanwhile, the Silvers, the rest of the brothers and sisters went ahead, with the exception of the Forever Yours album. They went ahead and did this album called Disco 9000. And even they will tell you that record was, respectfully speaking, those are still my uncles and my aunt, respectfully speaking, as a group, that was the kiss of death for the Silvers.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Now, here's the interesting part. When they came out with the concept album, which was a dope album.
Great album.
That album was dope as fuck.
Great album.
But the reason why the sales didn't resonate is because, unfortunately, mind you, it fit right in with the Shalimar, all the stuff that they were putting out in solo. It fit right in. Keep on Loving Me, all that stuff. It fit right into the caliber. But because of the name, the Silvers being attached to that wacky vision that Al Ross had, it's like, we're Silvers. Okay, yeah, nice. That was the attitude. Meanwhile, Leon just kept changing the game over and over. You know what I'm saying? Like every production was grand with Shalimar. Then he brought the Whispers. He finally gave the Whispers their biggest hits.
Yeah, man.
Until Babyface came to Rocksteady. That's the record. But before Rocksteady, and the beat goes on, and it's a love thing. Those are the Whispers records to beat. And then of course, Keep On Loving Me. That's all Leon, man. So it's like, again, what's the point I'm making? Now, it's not about being con, because remember, they're still brothers and sisters, but think about it. And one day when I was working with Leon in the studio, I asked him, one thing about me and him, when we hang in the studio, we have conversations in the mix of work, and work is fun with him. I'll do my job, I do what I'm supposed to do. And then we'll sit around, we'll just be talking for a good 2 hours about everything. I love when Leon tells stories. He tells the best stories. So he says, I asked him, I said, Leon, I said, let me ask you a question, Uncle. Is it safe to say that the records that you wrote and produced for Shalimar and the Whispers, could those have easily been the songs for the Silvers if they would have stayed with you and y'all would have stayed in that compartment together? I said, oh yeah. He said, matter of fact, if you look at some of the writing credits, they're on it.
Yeah.
That's Ricky Silvers playing.
Yeah.
That's Ricky playing that. Ricky Silvers.
If you look at a lot of those Whispers Dynasty albums, you'll see a lot of the brothers playing and
that's Foster. Foster's only like 15 at the time. This is past the years of misdemeanor, but Foster played bass on a lot of that stuff too. Charmaine co-wrote "Don't Want to Be the Last to Know." You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the thing is that the whole point of the message, or why I had to give that story real quick as we were talking, is because this is why sometimes you have to be in the position, because I know they felt it. They had to feel it. They had to feel it.
Yeah.
The same way how people, even I remember when the Go-Go's in their interview, and Jane said it. And remember, Jane and Belinda created the Go-Go, but when they broke up, they were like bitter enemies. Yeah. And Jane said it. Jane was like, I can't even lie to you. To see Belinda's solo career go like this, and I put out my little couple of albums, I got some decent sales and some MTV spins, but I ain't gonna lie, it kind of hurt. It kind of hurt me to see her kind of soaring, and my solo career just really kind of go nowhere. It kind of bothered me. I love her honesty. That's a shout out to Jane. That's my girl.
Yeah.
Jane was honest. She was like, at that time, we weren't getting along. So to see the lead singer of my group, who's one of my best friends, move to higher heights with her career, and I'm just sitting here doing these couple of records. I mean, they got a fan base, but I don't have a oh baby, I don't have none of that shit. It's just that sort of theory. So again, treat people kindly, and most importantly, stick with your team. Now you can try to do different things, but always make the whole part of who you are the home base.
For sure.
If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
That's it. That's it.
That's some of that.
I dig it. Absolutely, man. So I know we in the middle of 2023, man. We wrapping up summer, and I know you working on a lot of stuff, man. What's next on the agenda, man? We got a new album in the work.
Man, we have 5 new albums in the works. My long-awaited political social album, Humanity 101. Everybody's been waiting on that one. That's finally coming out towards the end of this month, finally. It took me 2 years to make that album because COVID, and then discovered that a lot of things that kept happening to our people in the mix of it. And then now I'm on the last song now. I'm finishing up the last song for the album. And as this thing will probably come out, if it's not happening now, Mr. Trump is being indicted. So I have a whole lot to say, even more. Because once I put this political social album out, I'm not making no more political statements on social media. I'm done. I've been doing it. You see, I've been doing it recently. I've been coming out my shell with it recently. But after I drop this, this is going to be the only album. This album is inspired by Slides, there's a riot going on, and of course Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, but of course Planet 12 style. So you're gonna hear some of those Sly influences in Marvin, spoken word, Last Poets influence, definitely. You're gonna hear a lot of that. I do spoken word on that record. I do I do a lot of Bad Brains and Fishbone and Narky with anti-establishment music on there. Oh yeah, I went there on this album. I went there. Definitely. So so that's one of them, and of course I'm in the middle of finishing up this jazz fusion project again with my boys Jay Bianchi and who? Ben Graham. And who else? You guessed it, John Patitucci. We got some shit on this record. We got some shit. Nice. And then I have the all hip hop album. I'm almost done with that. I got about 5 more songs I have to do now, but I already have the other 5 songs done for that record. And the long awaited Psychotic Chameleon. Everybody been waiting for that. That's actually a double album.
Okay.
Psychotic Chameleon was supposed to come out 7 years ago. I still kept all. Matter of fact, one of the songs, I think you know the one, Quarter and Thick Girly Girls are 2 of the songs that were recorded during Psychotic Chameleon.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. I never put those out officially. I only put them on sound. I put them on SoundCloud. Okay. So some of the fans have been rocking with me for the last 8 years. They know those songs.
Gotcha.
So now, when I release that project,
it'll be official.
Out, well, of course, you know, a lot of that. So I've been in here working. As a matter of fact, my last out of town gig I did what was it? Almost a month ago.
Okay.
I've been home. Of course, I have shows every weekend. These last 2 weeks coming up. But the thing is, I've been in the studio recording and in my chambers writing and putting things together and being featured on different projects. I'm trying to finish those things up. And I also have a project that I'm working on with Tony M.
Cool.
It's called Minneapolis Meets Brooklyn.
Cool.
My idol is back. He's back in the saddle.
Cool.
So Tony, I said, dude, it's time to capitalize off of your legacy. You know, Gold Nigga was a great step, but then you know things happen. Life happens. Things change, but ain't nothing stopping you now. You're here. The fans still love when you rhyme.
Yeah.
Make this album, and I'll do it with you. This is my way of paying homage to one of my rhyme items. We get to talk some real pimp shit on wax. You know, it's gonna be a fun. It's a fun record. Fun record. We're gonna be talking some political shit, but we really gonna be just having fun, man. Just talking some real, you know, lyricism, some real potency. You know.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to that and all the other projects, man. And we're all looking forward to it. So, man, we're glad.
Well, I mean, and then me and you done put the ingredients for what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it ain't over. It ain't over.
Listen, man. You know. That's why I had to remind you. I'm like, dude, listen. The same way I took for this whole interview to happen. It's the same way when we're working on this stuff because you know I went to his house and we ended up working on what? 3 songs, I think, 2 or 3?
Yeah, like the 3 cuts, yeah.
Yeah, 3 cuts. I mean, that's a start. So even just putting everything else together, you know, I'm just like, look, it's happening when it happens. But even in the jurisdiction that we started on. So look out for that Digital Soul and Law project.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Gonna be bad and funky.
Man, I had fun. I get to implement my ideas, but I get to be produced. I love it. I'm a producer myself. I don't have an ego about it. I said, if I like your sound, and I hear something dope, let me get on that. I want to get on that. I'm no longer the producer. I'm the artist. I want to, or the songwriter at least. If I'm not the artist, you know, I'm just like, I like that. Let me get into that. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Putting your head in all areas, man. I'm like that too, man. I'll be produced. I'll produce. I'll arrange. I'll write. I'll you know, whatever you need me to do, I'm there, man. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's just get shit done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, my brother, man, you know, I'm so honored that you came and sat with me, man, and looking for all the future projects and shows that you're gonna, and hopefully you'll come back to California soon. We can, you know, get a live performance here.
I'll be back here in a couple of months.
Yeah, but not just for the visit, but hopefully we can get you some live performances out here in Cali too, man.
That's what we're working on right now. I'm actually talking to a couple of the promoters and the booking agents that some of them need both of them. And we're talking about doing more shows in LA. I've been aiming for that for the last couple of years, but you know, had a situation that was working and that didn't really work out. So I'm just, you know, you can be the best promoter in the world, but if your spirit ain't right, I don't want to do any kind of work with you. So that's really where I'm at with all that, you know.
I heard that, man.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Man, I thank you so much, man. And before we go, if you don't mind just dropping your handles, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're located, so people can find your work and future projects.
Absolutely. Well, as everybody knows or may not know, Instagram and Twitter is at Planet 12 Law. And of course, Facebook, facebook.com/Law Planet 12. That's the fast way to get to it. All of my music is available on all streaming platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/Law Planet 12, same thing. I'm also on Threads, and I'm also on Still too. And Snapchat as well, Planet 12 Law. TikTok, Planet 12 Law.
He everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
Find him. My brother, my East Coast Brooklyn Zoo homeboy, man.
My West Coast L.A. West Side Reserve. You already know, man.
You know it, man. Funk Brothers for life, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. Digital Soul presents Law in the house today. We thank you so much. God bless and continue to strive and be funky, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Love you.
Love you back.